Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and today doing an Earth Machine deck profile. So I'm really excited to do this one for you guys because this deck is an extremely powerful combo deck, especially now that we have an awesome new Link 1 monster, Clockwork Knight. So without further ado, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards. So without further ado, let's go and get straight on into this. So first off, we're playing 3 copies of Harvester. Harvester is the best normal summon in the entire deck, because if this card is normal or special summon, you can actually add an Infinitrack monster from your deck to your hand, except another copy of Harvester, which is a great effect to instantly grab the exact card that we need. Also, you can target one of the machine monster that you control, and the level of both of that monster and this card become the combined original level of those 2 monsters until the end of the turn, which is such a powerful effect to be able to use to basically get the exact levels you need to go in for an XZ play. We then play a single copy of Brutal Dozer. Brutal Dozer is a great combo piece in the deck that lets you tribute an Earth Machine monster and then special summon this card from your hand in Defense Edition. And if this card is special summoned from the hand, you can actually special summon an Infinitrack monster from your deck in Defense Edition, except another copy of this card, but negate its effects. And also you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except Earth Machine monsters, which you only have to watch out for 1 or 2 cards in this entire deck. But this card is an amazing card in the build to help you make your copy of River Stormer so you can search an additional card. We then play a single copy of Trencher. Trencher is great in the build as one of because you can tribute 1 Earth Machine monster to special summon this card in your hand in Defense Edition, and also banish this card from the graveyard to actually target a level 5 or lower Infinitrack monster in the grave, and then special summon that monster in Defense Edition, which is a great effect to instantly bring back a monster to your side of the field. We then also play a single copy of Tunneler. Tunneler is awesome as a one-of to help you recycle your resources and also draw cards, because you can actually tribute an Earth Machine monster to special summon this card from your hand to Defense Edition, and you can also banish this card from the graveyard and then target 5 Earth Machine monsters in the grave, shuffle them into the deck, and then draw 2 cards, which is a crazy powerful effect to be able to use just to help you recycle resources and also get a draw 2. We then play a single copy of Road Roller. This card is a crazy powerful extender in the deck, and I love the reference on this card being a JoJo reference. But this card is so cool because if an Earth Machine monster is tributed or banished face up, you can special summon this card from the graveyard or from your hand, which is such a powerful ability just to use this card as an extender. And also an XZ monster whose original type is machine and has this card as a material gains this effect that face up monsters that your opponent controls are changed to Defense Edition, and also they lose 1,000 defense points, which is such a cool effect to be able to use. We then play a single copy of Gear Frame. Gear Frame is really cool as a one-of in the deck. You can actually search this card off your copy of Redeployment, which is why I just play a single copy in the build now. But this card on normal summon lets you add a Machina monster from your deck to your hand, which is a really cool effect. We then play a single copy of Unclasper. Unclasper is really cool as a one-of as well, but this card is a dark monster, so you do have to watch out for your copy of Brutal Dozer and this card. And this card has the ability it's added to your hand except by drawing it. You can actually special summon this card, but also you cannot special summon for the rest of the turn except for machine monsters, which is totally fine because that's usually all we're summoning. And if this card is normal or special summon, you can actually send a machine monster from your deck to the graveyard, which is a great effect to send a Machina monster from your deck to the graveyard like your copy of Ruin Force, so you can bring it back to your side of the field. But this card is really cool because you can actually search both of these cards off your copy of Redeployment and then special summon out your copy of Unclasper to your side of the field, setting up your copy of Ruin Force. We then play a single copy of Fortress. Fortress is just a really good extender in the deck and very easy to summon out in this particular build to help you also get machine monsters into the graveyard, and it's just a really cool card to be able to make. We then play a single copy of Citadel. Citadel is great to be able to summon in this deck, and is also a level 10 Earth Machine, which is super cool about this card, making this card a really cool extender in the build. It cannot be normal summoned or set. It must be special summoned by a card effect, and quick effect, you can target a machine monster you control, destroy that machine monster, and all monsters that your opponent controls with attack less than or equal to it. And if a face-up Earth Machine monster you control, except a copy of this card, is destroyed by battle by card effect, while this card's in the grave, you can actually special summon this card, which is such a powerful ability to be able to use. We then play a single copy of Ruin Force. Ruin Force is why I actually still play the Machina cards in this deck, because this card has a really cool effect that it cannot be normal summoned or set. It must be special summoned from your graveyard by banishing machine monsters from your graveyard whose total levels equal 12 or more. And when your opponent activates a card or effect during the battle phase, quick effect, you can actually pay half your life points to negate the activation if you do half your opponent's life points, making it super easy to go in for game, because this card comes out at 4,600 attack points, which is insanely powerful. And it's one of my favorite machine cards, which is why I still play this card in the deck. It's absolutely insane to be able to send to the graveyard of Unclasper, but it is a little bit of a brick in the deck. This card also has the ability, if this card is destroyed by battle or by card effect, you can actually special summon to 3 of your banished Machina monsters whose total level equal 12 or less, which is a pretty cool effect. We then play a single copy of Super Express Train. This card is just a really good extender in the build, that if all monsters you control are Earth machines, you can actually special summon this card from the hand, and during the end phase, if this card's in the graveyard because it was sent there this turn, you can actually target a machine monster in the grave and add it back to your hand. We then play a single copy of Darkaramed. Darkaramed is really good as an extender, because if an Earth machine monster is normally special summoned to your field, you can special summon this card from your hand, but its original attack and events become half, making this card a really good extender in the build. We then play 2 copies of Terverion King Regulus. Regulus is such a cool card in this deck, and this card is really powerful because this card is actually a walking negate, and this card is so powerful to be able to summon out to your side of the field, because all you have to do is target a machine monster in the grave, special summon this card from your hand to your side of the field, and then equip that monster to this card, which is super easy to do in this build. This card is amazing in the deck, and just such a powerful card to be able to summon. We then play a single copy of Jet Synchron. Jet Synchron is really cool as a 1-of in the deck, because you can actually play on your mark, get set, duel, which is such a powerful card to be able to activate to add this card to your hand. So you can actually activate on your mark, get set, duel, and when it's activated, if you control no monster cards, you can actually add a Synchron monster from your deck to your hand. So you can instantly get your copy of Jet Synchron, normal summon Jet Synchron, and then link it away for Clockwork Knight. And since we control a continuous spell card on the field, we can actually use our copy of Clockwork Knight, making it a really cool engine in the deck to be able to use as a starter. We then play 3 copies of Ash Blossom. Ash Blossom's great in the deck as a 3-of to basically just stop your opponent from touching the deck. We then also play 3 copies of Effect Veiler. Effect Veiler is really good in the build as well to basically stop your opponent's monster effects. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to start with a single copy of Called by the Grave. Called by the Grave is really cool as a 1-of in the deck to basically just stop your opponent's monster effects that are activating as hand traps, which is so cool to basically just stop your opponent's hand traps when we're going in for all of our plays. We're then playing 2 copies of Clockwork Knight. Clockwork Knight is great in the deck, but I feel like 2 copies is really all you need now, because we can easily get to 1 with our copy of Clockwork Knight, the Link monster, meaning it's very easy to get to this card, so I feel like 2 copies is really all you need. All monsters that we control become machine monsters, all monsters on the field become machine monsters, and also machine monsters that we control gain 500 attack and defense, and also machine monsters our opponent control lose 500 attack and defense, which is a great ability. And also banish this card in the graveyard, discard a card, and then add a Earth machine monster from your deck to your hand, which is why we also play Foolish Burial Goods in this deck. We then play 3 copies of Foolish Burial Goods. Goods is good, and this card is amazing in the build to help us send our copy of Clockwork Knight to the graveyard, because this card is also a starter in the deck, because you can easily use this card to be able to send your copy of Clockwork Knight to the graveyard, and then use Clockwork Knight's effect to help get us to our copy of Harvester so we can go full combo. We then play 3 copies of Redeployment. Redeployment is really cool in the deck, and it's basically like a pendulum call for this deck. This card lets you discard a card to be able to add 2 Machina monsters with different names from each other from your deck to your hand, which you're usually adding your copy of Unclasper and your copy of Gear Frame off this card's effect. So you can summon out your copy of Unclasper to your side of the field, and then once you do, you'll send Ruin Force to the graveyard or Citadel, and then you can normal summon out your copy of your Gear Frame, getting you 2 level 4s on your side of the field so you can go for Garganta X, and also you will be able to search off Gear Frame's effects so you can get to Fortress, which is insane to be able to do, and it's such a powerful combo in this deck. So this card is really good as a 3-of in the build. We then play 3 copies of Heavy Ford. Heavy Ford is great as a 3-of-them build, because this card is basically Roto for your Infinitrax, and when this card is activated, you actually get to add an Infinitrax monster from your deck to your hand, and this card is also a continuous spell, so you can use it with your copy of Clockwork Knight, which is great. We then play 3 copies of On Your Mark, Get Set, Duel. This card is awesome as a starter in the deck, because when this card is activated, if you control no other cards, you can actually add a Synchron monster from your deck to your hand, which is the only effect we're worried about on this card, so we can basically use this card to get to our copy of Jet Synchron, normal summon that Jet Synchron, then immediately link it away for a copy of Clockwork Knight, which is so cool to be able to use, and since we do control our continuous spell on our side of the field, we can easily use Clockwork Knight's effect. So, that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get in to the traps. So for the traps, we're only going to be playing 3, and that's going to be 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence. Infinite Impermanence is really good as a 3-of the build to basically just stop your opponent's monster effects and also lock down entire columns of spells and traps, which is extremely important in this build just to stop your opponent's monster effects. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get in to the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to start off with Clockwork Knight. Clockwork Knight is definitely a 2-of in the build and is such a powerful Link monster, and one of the reasons I actually wanted to update this deck, because this card is insane. This card takes 1 non-link machine monster with 1,000 or less original attack points to be able to make this card, so it's very easy to summon in this build. This card also has the ability, if this card is link summoned, you can actually send a face-up continuous spell you control to the graveyard to add a copy of Clockwork Knight, the spell card, from your deck to your hand, which is a really good ability. And while we play On Your Mark, Get Set, Duel, and our other copy of Heavy Ford at 3 in this build, because you can easily use them in this deck to be able to use your copy of Clockwork Knight to search out the spell card Clockwork Knight from your deck to your hand. This card also has a really cool ability that you can actually target 1 machine monster with 1,000 or less attack in the graveyard, attribute a machine monster except this card, and if you do, special summon the targeted monster in defense system, which is a great effect to help you basically get the exact monster you want on your side of the field. We then play 3 copies of Goliath. Goliath is really powerful as a 3-of the build. It's just an awesome combo piece in the deck to be able to use, because this card helps out so much in this deck. We then play a single copy of SP Little Knight. SP Little Knight is great in this build to be able to use, because this card is basically a double interruption. It's one of the only non-machine monsters we play in the entire extract. This card is a really good double interruption. We then play a single copy of Platinum Gadget. Platinum Gadget is awesome in this build because it helps us get an additional monster from our hand to our side of the field, as you can special summon a level 4 lower machine monster from your hand to a zone this card points to. The only downside is this card cannot be used as a link material to turn its link summon, but we have ways to get it off the field. We play a single copy of Double-Headed. Double-Headed is great as a 1-of the build because this card works with our level 10 machine monsters, because during the main phase, quick effect, you can actually send a monster from your hand or field to the graveyard and then target a level 10 machine monster in the grave and special summon defense system but negate its effects, which is such a powerful ability to instantly get it to level 10 back on our side of the field. We play a single copy of Juggernaut Lieb. Lieb is such a powerful OTK piece, and the way you actually go in for game in this deck, but this card is amazing in the build because you can easily make this on top of your copy of Dora or Gustav Max, and then go in for game. We play a single copy of Dora. Dora is a great going first card because this card is just massive and also has a really cool ability that once returned during either player's turn, detach a material in this card, target a face-up monster on the field, and that target is unaffected by card effects except for its own effects until the end of this turn. We play a single copy of Gustav Max. Gustav Max is great as a 1-of the build just to do 2,000 points of burn damage to your opponent and then summon out your copy of your Juggernaut Lieb to go in for game. We might have seen a copy of Mountain Smasher. Mountain Smasher is super easy to make in this build and has a really cool ability that when this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can attach that opponent's monster to this card as a material, which is actually a really cool ability to be able to use. This card also has the ability that you can detach a material on this card and it gains 1,000 attack points, and if this card is in your graveyard, you can trade a machine link monster to special summon this card in defense system, which is a great ability because this card actually comes out at 31. We can play a single copy of Riverstormer. Riverstormer is a great searcher because you can detach a material on this card, take an Earth Machine monster in the deck, and either add it to your hand or send it to the graveyard, which is such a powerful effect. And also you can bring back from the grave by tributing a Machine Link monster, which is a really cool effect. We play a single copy of Garganta X. Garganta X is really cool to help you search out one of your machine monsters because you can detach material in this card and add a level 4 or lower machine type monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand. We then finally play a single copy of Zeus. Zeus is great in the build because this card is an awesome board wipe in the build. We play so many different XZs in this build. It's very easy to summon and it's just a really powerful card overall in the deck to be able to make and then board wipe the field. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you enjoyed. This deck is super fun to be able to play. If you guys have never played an Earth Machine deck before, you should definitely give this deck a try because it's super easy to be able to just combo into all sorts of awesome plays and be able to summon out the exact Earth Machine you want to your side of the field and then go in for game. This deck is so fun to be able to play and there's so many cool combos for this deck. So that's going to for this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.